Welcome to another episode of BGC Board Gaming Closet. And my name is Rod.
And I'm Tim.
And today we are doing 3 games at once, which is kind of unusual for us, but all 3 games are very similar, so we didn't want to do it separate and draw it out or anything.
I believe they actually call them standalone expansions because they put out the main game, and these other games can be played completely separate, or you can use some of the pieces interchangeably.
So the first one that came out was Castle Ravenloft, right here. And then the next one that came out was the Wrath of Ashardalon. And then the third one was Drizzt.
Or Legend of Drizzt.
Or however you want to pronounce that. And as you may or may not know, I am a major fan of Dungeons & Dragons, fantasy games. And these 3, already you can just see the pieces, did not disappoint when it came to the miniatures and stuff. But let's start off and let Tim discuss some of the playing of the game.
Okay, so here are the rule books. You'll have like an adventure book, of course, to talk. So after you learn the rules, I guess I should put that right away. Once you learn the rules from the rule book on the basic gameplay, and get that down, because it's basically just it's one of those games where you just go through different phases. Each player takes their turn and goes through each different phase, and the villains and the bad guys get to take their turn at the end of each player's turn. So that stays through all 3 games. It's the same turn phases, and then you have the adventure books, which take you through a dungeon for the particular story that you're going through. It's not real heavy on the story, but it does stick with the theme for it, and it gives you the particular monsters and villains that you're going to fight in that dungeon.
So the immersion is good, I think.
Yeah.
I think it does a good job. There's a part where Tim's got to use his storytelling voice, and he'll read that off, and then we'll play. And
yeah, there's like little, just like when you're playing D&D and you have the game master that reads out like introduction to the story and stuff. There's that in there, so that brings a little bit from that.
So this is a this is another game of Wizards of the Coast, and we really do I really like this game. I don't want to speak for Tim or anything, but I mean, first of all, the miniatures. The first one didn't have like a giant miniature with it.
It just came with this. I forgot what this was, like a zombie
flesh
ogre
golem or something.
He looks like Frankenstein.
But the pieces are great. I mean, they really are. I mean, they've got some nice pieces to them. I
like the detail too. If you just get in close, the detail on these pieces is just glorious. And we'll see it. Like we'll have all the shots of the pieces on the website if you want to take a look at them.
Then of course you have like the ghost, and that's pretty neat that they did it in the clear plastic like that. And everything.
Yeah.
So it's very well done.
They're color coded a little bit too. So like heroes are dark blue, and you'll have different types of monsters or different types of colors.
The board pieces are nice when you're building up your dungeon, and it really does a good job of really pulling you in there. Like I said, like all the cards and everything, because each character has his own card, first and second level, and you'll have your little shields that you put on for hit points that you have and so on.
Yeah.
You have your cards for your daily powers, that will powers and so on, utility powers.
It lets you keep track of like all your stuff in just one easy little spot, and instead of having to go, stopping the game when you level up and going through all the complicated, I got a +1 here, and I'll pick this skill, and you'll just flip this card over. It'll have all the stats on it, and then you pick your new, because it'll tell you exactly what you got to gain as far as skills go. So, like these are your little powers. And the way they did these in conjunction with the version 4 of D&D was brilliant. The way you can use the daily powers. The at-will powers can just keep using over and over again. And you have to replenish these throughout the game. It was just real smart.
So the game's got you have traps, and you have different things that happen. There are some things with the game that I have issues with when it comes to gameplay. When I do a dungeon game, I feel that the party should want to stay together. This game feels like they're trying to pull you apart, and that you're going in different directions and everything. And that's an aspect of the game that I personally do not like. I just like the fact that you'd keep all 4 players together as a tank and going down the dungeon, and and the wizard in the back throwing things over the shoulders, casting spells and so on. And this one does not do that. Each character is more of his own heroic hero, and he's going out there and he's doing his thing.
Yeah, I mean, they still have the basics of the party play where healers will heal you and wizards will do area damage and fighters will get in close combat. But they have this thing where if you don't explore, which means you have to go to the edge of the thing, you basically get punished because you'll pull an encounter card, which can have some very disastrous effects. Like this is like an attack that's an ambush. It happens a lot, and it happens to every person on your tile. So if your party's together and they stick together through the dungeon, all your party is going to get hit with each one of these ambushes and each one of these attacks and each one of these traps as they happen throughout. So most of the time when we play, we split up and go different directions so that we don't get hurt. Of course, if you pull a tile that has a black triangle, you still have to pull an encounter card, but you can't get away from the encounter cards really. But if you're adventuring by yourself, at least you're just hurting yourself on that one and not your whole team.
So that part of the game, I guess what I would say is, in the future we play this game quite often actually, and of all the games that we have, we play these probably the most. And the thing I would say is that I can see house rules coming in. I would do some change up on the house rules on it to fit the way that I feel they should be done. Now, all in all, I think they've done a great job.
Our best house rule, by the way, is with like the spinning blades and traps like that, where they affect the monsters too, not just the heroes. Because it just makes sense that a spinning blade going through the hallway, because it travels down through the hallway, that it would affect all of the characters and not just the heroes. And I thought that was our best one.
And I think that on the games themselves, each game, as they made them. So in other words, Castle Ravenloft came out first. Each one got better, and you can see that. And it seems like it was played out better. I felt like the rules with it were, the changes that they made were solid, and it felt like the game went at a pace that it should. That you didn't need to add as many house rules to it. So they did a good job on their expansion. I would like to see some more. I guess we won't be seeing any more. I mean, there's other games they're working on and stuff, but I would like to see another one of these. I mean, the miniatures, quite honestly, I mean, the game, depending on how you purchase it, $50, $60. I mean, that miniature right there, I mean, that's worth half the price right there. That's an awesome piece.
I believe you can actually purchase them pre-painted from Fantasy Flight too as well, right?
No. This isn't Fantasy Flight. This is
Wizards of the Coast.
But I know a lot of you D&Ders out there and role players do your own painting, so I know they just love this stuff. So it's fantastic. Mm-hmm. So I guess we should do our little thing that we do on rating the game. And how this works is the green, we would buy the game if we didn't own it. White, I'd play if it's on the table. Red, I wouldn't play if it's on the table, and I definitely wouldn't purchase it. I'd probably get rid of it. So we'll go ahead and put it out there. We'll go ahead and flip to see what we have here. We got 2 greens.
No surprise there.
No surprise there. Again, there are some things with the game that are an issue, but definitely a good game. I did enjoy it.
Oh, definitely. Especially if you like D&D and you just want something simple to play, instead of really getting into an adventure. You don't need a GM to play it at all, or a dungeon master, because the game plays the bad guys for you, and they do it brilliantly.
And that green is for all 3 games also. That's what we're saying.
Absolutely.
None of them they're all fantastic. So again, and thank you, and we'll see you at our next episode.
And don't forget to check us out on Facebook and on our webpage, boardgamecloset.com.
Later.